What I have here are two bowstrings. They are not the same, but I'm going to show you how to make a Turkish-style or Asian-style bowstring with the tied-on knots, the tied-on loops. It's pretty cool. This is what you expect to make. This is the typical one that you make if you watch Nick's videos or anybody else's videos that I've seen. Typically this is what you're going to end up with. You're going to get a nice endless loop string, and it's going to have a served end, served loop, and then you serve a little bit on the inside to hold the string together. You serve the center and do the same on the other side. This might look pretty much the same, but the difference is, even though I've served the center, I've served the ends to pinch it together. Some people will serve all the way around just like the conventional one, just making essentially a shorter string. But in my test, I've gone ahead and I've left the loops, the exposed loops, unserved. And all the point is, even though this isn't going to get you onto a bow, it's not big enough to slip on most knocks. Some it might, but most knocks it's not going to slip on. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a little knot that's big enough to fit on a knock, and we can adjust it to whatever size we need, also giving us a little bit of flexibility with the string length. Because this string was 3 inches too short. I needed to make a string that was 3 inches longer, and I didn't feel like adjusting the bow jig, or the string making jig. So I went ahead and I decided, not only do I like this technique of going ahead and tying on loops, because it allows you to go ahead and adjust it later if you have to, but I think it'll make the bow a little bit more durable, since if there's wear at the loop ends, I can just cut it off and make a new loop. So what we've got here are 2 pieces of paracord. Since I measured mine, I wanted them to be approximately 1 inch in the center for the knock, a little over 1 inch on each side, and then just a little bit on the end for scrap, just for you to hold on to and tie the knot. So that's how I came to about 5 inches. Paracord is pretty cool, but it will come unraveled. So here I had 2 about 8-inch long pieces of paracord. I went ahead and I took some matches, since I don't have a cigarette lighter, and held the flame under the end. And if you can see that, it starts to melt the plastic, and the nylon just melts into a nice glob, and it's not going to unravel on you then. That was a good tip from a military buddy of mine. So now the whole idea of making the string, the loop at the end that is, and it's pretty simple. You take the one end and you put it through the loop, and you hold it like so. Go around the top and feed through that loop that I created right there with the other end. Then I'm going to go around itself. It's going to go around itself on that side, and then through the loop. There we go. Okay, now I'll hold both ends and sort of start to pull it tight by the loop itself. Make sure it's really good and held in there. At this stage it's pretty easy to adjust. If you want to make it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, that's not hard. Later on you might even have to cut it off, but that's pretty much it. Right there you have the string, and I've used that on several bows right now, and it works pretty well. You're definitely going to want to not do what I did. Don't cut it I wouldn't cut it too short in advance, because you want extra room to play with. If it's too short, it might slip through, and that could cause some problems. So pick whatever length you want and add a few inches on top of that. You can always trim it off the ends, and it makes it a lot easier to come down to it. And then you can go ahead and carefully melt the ends of the plastic then. But let me try and do it again up a little closer now. So one end through the loop, making a little loop on this side. And I come around through, around, and through the main string loop. Hold those, pull it taut, That's basically it again. This doesn't seem to be holding quite as well. Oh well, still gotta get the hang of it, but there you go. Look at that. Beautiful. It holds very nicely, it unties very nicely, and it makes the strings, I think, a lot more durable since you can just go ahead and change them out. So give it a try and tell me what you think. It should work out for you. This added about almost 4 inches to the length of my string. So that was a little bit more than I wanted, but since the bows were braced with the 3-inch longer string just a little high, this will be even better, I think. So go ahead, give it a try, and tell me how it works out for you guys. I didn't mention it, but the whole point of this string was to use on the 1-inch PVC bow that I'm going to be making with the rawhide. So let's take a look at that and see how it's working out tomorrow. It's all ready to go, just have to put the string on it. So ready for a new video then. See you later.